Hello, welcome to Cull the Weak Card Talk. I'm Brobnar89.
I'm Shaka. Today we're looking at a pair of cards, Comm Officer Gross and Comm Officer Hings. They're both 3-power humans. Comm Officer Gross says, play, you may search your deck for Comm Officer Hings, reveal it and add it to your hand, shuffle your deck. Essentially, search for the other one. Then Fight Reap, give a +1 power token to each creature between Comm Officer Gross and Comm Officer Hings. And we'll see Hings has a similar effect.
So Comm Officer Hings, like you said, 3-power human, and it says play. You may search your deck for Comm Officer Gross, reveal it, add it to your hand, shuffle your deck. And then it has the Fight Reap ability, draw 1 card for each creature between Comm Officer Gross and Comm Officer Hings. Okay, indisputably better. Hings is most certainly more powerful than Gross, but you need them both. You need them both together in order for either of them to have any effect, right? Otherwise, it's just a blank 3-power creature.
Mm-hmm.
Still, if you can keep them both around for 1 turn, and if you've got a decent-sized board, you could have some just insane cycling going on and just end up with a huge hand, play out a bunch of more Star Alliance. Even if you only have like 5 or 6 creatures on the board, that is massive. And then Gross makes everything else +1 power. It's not great, but you're not going to turn it down, right? That's still pretty good and makes your board more sticky and just more threats that your opponent needs to deal with.
Yeah, it definitely adds some defense to your board. And if you have 6 creatures, so you'll be drawing 4 cards when you reap. Kind of like Professor Sutterkin with a lot of creatures, except every creature counts. That said, when you play creatures after the comm officers, they'll actually be on the outside, so they won't be able to contribute to the effect of these 2 officers. Another limitation is these cards can search for each other within the deck. If one of them has been destroyed for some reason, it won't actually search for it out of your discard pile and bring it back.
That's true. So if one of them gets discarded when it's in your hand, it's over. That's it.
Yeah. Then you have a dud card in your deck. The Rocketeer Triska is pretty interesting here because she can make her neighbors enter play ready, which means you can trigger the Hings or Gross effect right away.
Which is, I think, how you would need to do this, right? Like there is very little chance that your opponent is going to leave that around and let you just draw.
Unity or Discord can work pretty well with these cards too because it'll allow you to trigger the effect and then you pull them back from, eventually they've ended up in the middle of the battle line. Your opponent was thinking, oh, they're in the middle, I don't have to worry about it. And then you put them on the edges again.
So you can reset and have another bite at the apple.
I think these cards need more protection, though. I'm just imagining them constantly being targeted and just killed before they can trigger their effect. 3 power, no armor. It's not too sturdy. Could pair well with Untamed. Get some power counters on them if they happen to survive 1 turn. Or you can use the Star Alliance phase shift, which is called Together, and get some cards that'll beef them up. If you actually trigger the Hings effect and draw Final Analysis, you Together in the Final Analysis, wipe all the creatures, and then just you have a ton of cards in your hand.
That's true. Like you're saying, they need some more protection. You can throw one of them down next to a Kirkhar on the edge. The likelihood that you'll be able to put both of them down next to Taunt is going to be pretty low, and your opponent only needs to target 1.
And also Tixel Beambuckler and Thorium Plasmate, Tactical Officer Moon, totally messed this up. Quantum Finger Trap.
Just put them right next to each other.
I think it's a fun card. Pretty fragile, though. I don't expect this to be that powerful.
Right. You'll probably either need a lucky break or be able to set it up with some ready and use type ability. You could make some big plays, but it's not going to be reliable.
Yeah. I think, like you said, if I see this in my deck, I definitely want to see a Rocketeer. And just be able to trigger it guaranteed.
You know, it becomes like a must address for your opponent if you've set the board up correctly, but they can address it. So it's not going to be too consequential.
Right. And yeah, like you said, they just have to address one of them, and then suddenly the other card's blank.
Yeah.
And Hide and Vellum had some built-in, those cards, I mean, they never shook up the scene. Like, they're good cards. They're also fragile. And even Hide and Vellum had a mechanism such that when you destroy the second one, they archive themselves and you can play them again. You don't get that.
Right.
On the flip side, they come in, together.
Yeah. It would be too good if it had both, right? Well, maybe not with how weak they are. You might have been able to make it both search the discard and the deck, and it would still be okay.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Well, that is our look at Comm Officer Gross and Comm Officer Higgs. This has been our Star Alliance week. Lots of excellent house interplay in here. Lots of fun. What do you think about Star Alliance in this set?
I think there's going to be pretty big efficiency in terms of using your board, maximizing value from your board. I think the Together card will be significant. We didn't have an episode to talk about it. There's not much to say. Just play a non-Star Alliance card. It has the additional effect, if the tide is high, you may play 2 non-Star Alliance cards instead.
Excellent. Yeah, what more can you say about it? That's
so
good.
Yeah, it's very good. We didn't do an episode on it. It's like
good.
this is pretty straightforward. I think those kind of cards combining with things like Diplomat Agung and Rocketeer, Triska, I think you're going to be able to pull off some pretty wild turns and get those big resets with the Grand Alliance Council and Selective Preservation. Some of the other cards we looked at this week are more fun type things, and they might work and they might not. It'll still be great to play with those, and it'll be enjoyable when they actually fire.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to cracking some Star Alliance decks. Should be lots of fun. I would like to pin here that we get all of our cards, all of our images, all of our spoilers, everything we gather, no matter the original source, from Archon Arcana, your go-to hub for all things Keyforge. Check them out. Big shout out to them. This has been Cull the Weak Card Talk. I'm Brobnar89.
I'm Shaka.
And we will see you next week.